Welcome to the Key to All of This with Tim and Dylan. I'm Tim.
And I'm Dylan, and I hate myself.
And I suck.
I have a beautiful family
Oh, I live
in a
in
beautiful
city.
Wow,
Hey,
when you
Tim.
put it that way. Yeah, hey.
I'm starting to feel good about myself.
Yeah, we should do this more often.
Yeah.
I have loved ones in my
Wait.
life.
Yes.
Are you
I have people who love me.
You consulting your lawyer again?
Yeah.
Yes, under advice of my counsel. We got a good show for you today,
I
viewers.
hope.
I hope so.
It's not off to a good start.
You know what?
It's off to a great start.
Yeah. There's that. There's that team optimism.
Is it what I said?
Team optimism.
Hey, everybody. It's Tim and Dylan. The key to all of this. I'm Dylan. This is Tim. In today's episode, we're talking about the next piece of Star Wars that we are going to be getting. Now that we have Star Wars Outlaws, we have The Acolyte canceled. But up next, we have Skeleton Crew.
Yeah.
A brand new show, brand new story.
Yeah. And unlike your expectations, it's not about a bunch of skeletons who kind of roam the galaxy and, treat their little rib cages like xylophones.
And they dance.
To really ghoulish Halloween music.
I feel like if I hear crew, it's either there's a heist or like a dance troupe.
Yeah, they're about to stomp that yard in Coruscant.
My crew and I are ready to stomp this yard. So clean up the poodoo, because we're going to stomp in this yard.
Please, for the love of our stomps.
So which do you think this show's going to be about?
Which
if you had to pick a crew,
yard?
Dance crew or a heist crew, which would you rather?
I definitely, as much as I want to see Bring It On in the Star Wars universe, I think it's going to be a heist crew. What about you?
Would you say that you feel that way because it's already been brought?
Yes, it has already been brought. The mic has already been dropped. I'm sorry, Mike, for dropping you.
Rest in peace. Yeah,
he's a baby.
he was a baby.
He was a baby. Pass ends.
Skeleton Crew, December 3rd, Disney Plus. We're getting a whole new story with it so far. Well, I was going to say, so far it looks like all new characters, except we have Bane from The Mandalorian, one of the pirates. He's going to be one of the dudes from the pirate crew. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I think it's, I think Jude Law is going to be really kind of this, I feel it's going to be very similar to like the Artful Dodger in like Oliver Twist. So I think it's going to just be this kind of like, this is just my personal guess, so I could be very wrong. A group of like kind of like sea urchin children, miscreants, trying to swindle their way to a better life. And I really think that Jude's character of Jod really, really broke the mold with his naming his character Jod. Jod Nanawood. I think it's going to be really fun to see him be like the smooth talking kind of character. And I think it's going to be fun.
I want to say something that I've wanted for this Jude Law character. Because, as mentioned in the last episode, I like the sprinkling of other Star Wars in. At the beginning of The Force Awakens, Lor Sen Tekka gives Poe Dameron some information as Kylo Ren destroys this place. I want Jude Law's character to be young Lor Sen Tekka, because the Sen Tekka family has a huge backstory with the High Republic. They were actually navigators who were like navigating hyperspace, and we only get like 5 minutes of Max von Sydow's character in this. And I want a little bit of backstory so that when I watch The Force Awakens, I can be like, oh, now this character is important, rather than it just being like, hey, the Exorcist is in this movie.
The power of Jedi compels you. That's a pretty good impression. If I don't say so much.
I was like, wow, Max von Sydow is alive and well.
Alive and well.
Is his skeleton
here? Me. Come on out, Max von Sydow skeleton.
Yeah, he's dead.
He's dead.
Oh, it's Sydow. I said Sandow because there was a wrestler, Sandow.
Did he also talk in a thick German accent?
Yes. No, he was very, very American. Very American. And I don't, if if it ends up being the same character, it doesn't take anything away from Skeleton Crew. All it does is add to episode 7. But with this, I think this is going to build for us to love, obviously, Jude Law's character, leading into the Mandalorian and Grogu possible trilogy, from
Mm-hmm.
what I've been reading. And I don't think we're going to see these kids again or need to see these kids again. What I'm hoping for is Jude Law becomes friends with Nick Frost's robot droid in this, and then we get them in The Mandalorian and Grogu, because Nick Frost is one of the best things to ever happen to this world.
Definitely. I think that, having that character have the flexibility to go from, obviously we'll deal with these kids and then use them differently in a different show. I think that'd be a great approach. And also just to add a little bit more, we see so many great pirates in the animated series, and they've been kind of created in real life here and there and used in real life here and there. But I think we need more of this, like, pirate centric world. I'm not saying turn Star Wars into Pirates of the Caribbean, but maybe I am.
Yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean with, I don't know, a lightsaber.
Yeah, exactly.
Less
Swashbuckling with
fishy people.
yeah, exactly. Part of the ship, part of the crew. Yeah, I just think it'd be perfect to expand that and
Do you
to
think
give
we'll
the pirate
see,
fans what they want.
with the pirate theme, do you think we're going to get Hondo?
I would love to see Hondo. I mean, I know we've already seen Hondo IRL in the Millennium Falcon ride in Disney, but I'd
Yep.
love to see that, actually happen, for real, for
Mm-hmm.
realsies.
And do we know if this takes place before or after the Mandalorian?
I think this takes place
Because Bane
at the
does
same time.
survive. Okay,
Yeah,
because
it
he
takes place
does
at the same time
survive
as
the
Mandalorian.
space battle. So
Mhm.
maybe he runs home and he's like, "I'm putting together a skeleton crew."
Yeah.
Or Jude Law runs into these kids and he's like, "I'm putting together a skeleton crew." That
Mhm.
line will be in this
Yeah,
show. I just
verbatim,
know it. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah,
It has.
my middle midichlorian count goes through the roof when I get a titular line in Star Wars. Okay,
You're like, call the wife. I'm feeling
yeah,
good.
honey. Yes, I can
Um,
say that.
no,
So,
I think that's like that'd be great to have that tie-in.
yeah. So you saw the trailer?
I have not seen the trailer. No.
Okay. So I have seen the trailer, and you know I am not a trailer guy, but
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to get to know a little bit more about this skeleton crew,
Skeleton Crew.
and I don't know how I feel about this show based on what I've seen, because I'm kind of taken out of it a little bit. I think that, well, obviously this show is going for Space Goonies.
Mm-hmm.
Space Goonies, E.T., I think, the 80s nostalgia. I think it's going to be a great show. I'm excited to watch it. Not saying anything bad about it. But what takes me out of it is the fact that they show the suburbs of this planet, and it literally looks like Edward Scissorhands, like California
Yeah.
suburbs, but instead of cars, there's like, spaceships, and it's like if the Jetsons came back to Earth almost.
Gotcha.
I don't think that's going to ruin the show for me. I think it's going to be, I'm going to be like, but I'm excited for the show as a whole.
It's
Um,
interesting that they could create suburbs in the Star Wars universe where it's
yeah,
like, ships, I don't think we've ever seen like a true good looking bed.
yeah,
I think it's such a staple of like how different the universes are. It's like they don't really prioritize like, property in the same way. It's all
yeah,
very functional and, I can't imagine, suburban housewives and, yeah, just
yeah,
a typical kind of American experience.
yeah. They show a quick clip of that, and I think a character is walking a dog. Even it's very like on the nose. This is the Goonies, just so you know. Which I don't
Yeah,
think is necessarily a bad thing, because I think that there's going to be a lot of Star Wars in this to draw us back in.
gotcha.
Jaleel White is in this, and I'm betting this show that he's going to say, "Did I do that?" after he does something,
I
much
hope
like
so.
his character of, well, Urkel, the alter ego of Urkel, which is Urkel. But I'm excited. I'm excited for the nostalgia factor of this show. I think it's going to make a lot of people think of their childhoods, which is kind of what you want. I think if you're going to be doing a child centric Star Wars show, and people are going to be like, oh, wow, I should watch The Goonies after this, or, E.T. So I think in a sense, people are going to feel better about the show because it's going to feel close to them more than it's going to feel close to Star Wars, if that makes sense.
Yeah, this will be a coming of age kind
Yeah.
of feel to it. Yeah, and I think what really worked for Rebels was the coming of age story for many of the characters there.
Mhm.
Just adds this layer of obviously everyone can relate to overcoming the challenges of like being a little, zit-filled teenager.
Yeah.
And I think that by doing that and upping the, challenges, it makes anyone be like, yeah, I went through something similar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the Empire didn't kill my parents, but I felt something similar growing up.
Yeah. Yeah. And so the story is essentially that these kids get lost in space and Jude Law's trying to get them home.
Mm.
That gives us all of this broad story of what are we going to see? Is it going to be hey, they're just playing around in the suburbs and they run into a bad guy? Or is it going to be a true journey across the galaxy, seeing familiar places and familiar characters?
I hope it's the latter. I mean, I would love to really go on this roller coaster where we go to a different planet every episode. These are all these kids are fish out of water and not the Mon Calamari kind.
Whoa.
And whoa, easy there. And yeah, so I completely agree. I think it would be great to see them go on this little quest.
And the pirates look incredible in this show. They feel very Star Wars to me.
Yeah.
There's, I think his name is Brutus. He's like the wolf guy, wolf man. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He looks awesome. I mean, all the pirates look great, and that really feels like Star Wars to me. Seeing they released some of the photos of the characters in Entertainment Weekly, I think, and the characters look awesome. So right there, I mean, even Jaleel White's character looks like a Star Wars character, and not that we're just getting a random cameo, which is
Yeah. I
nice.
feel like a lot of the shows have kind of not shied away from really going into like a bunch of aliens and a bunch of like, you know, creatures and in kind of not like evil humans, but like humans that are on the fringe of good,
Yeah,
like right out of Scum and Villainy, Central, Mos Eisley.
yeah,
But so whenever I see stuff like that, it makes me feel like, oh, okay, this is the Star Wars that I grew up with. These
yeah,
kind of like weird characters who no one fits in, so then everyone fits in, kind of feel.
yeah, yeah. I like that. I'm
Yeah.
excited for the show, and we did this with the Acolyte. Halfway through, we did an episode on it, so we'll get a few episodes into it before we do another episode on this, because not much is known about this show except that kids are lost in space and Nick Frost is in it. But yeah, I'm excited for it. So we'll do a little bit of a recap and what we think is going to happen once we get halfway through the show. But that's all I got, Tim.
That's all I got too. Hey,
And
may
also
the
with you.
force be with you. Damn it.